Hello everybody, welcome back. Star Citizen is trying to be a one-of-a-kind experience, a truly unique and realistic universe where we as the players will have the opportunity to carve our own path and live our life in the verse in any way we like. One of the most interesting aspects of Star Citizen that help it create that realism has to do with survival gameplay, the first elements of which we are going to see with the next very important update, the Alpha 3.0. We could say that survival gameplay is going to make its first steps with this very important milestone, and from there it is going to expand in order to create a complex, challenging, but fun at the same time system. So what do we need exactly in order to have a fun and challenging survival gameplay experience? Obviously, we need a hostile environment and proper management of certain resources. And although space is quite hostile, we're going to need specific environments that we the players can traverse with our characters, trying to stay alive while performing a specific activity or simply admiring the beauty of the Star Citizen worlds. With the Alpha 3.0 update, we are going to get exactly these hostile environments. Out of the 4 moons that will come to the persistent universe with this new update, 2 of them are going to be extremely hostile, and I'm talking obviously about the moons of Yela and Selene. Yela is going to be a frozen moon with very low temperatures and numerous crevasses from which gyrovolcanoes can erupt unexpectedly. Selene, on the other hand, is going to be the complete opposite. It will be burning with volcanic activity, and its surface is going to be dotted with thermal geysers that again can erupt without notice. In Selene, we should also expect highly corrosive clouds of gas that are regularly released from its surface. So we can understand that these 2 moons are going to be extremely hostile for the players, with many dangers on their surfaces, and we will have to be extremely careful. Surviving on their surface without a suit is going to be out of the question. And with the Alpha 3.0 update, we might not see some specialized suits that can withstand specific temperatures on frozen or hot environments, very hot environments, but this is definitely something that will follow, and as the universe of Star Citizen expands, it will be almost essential to wear the appropriate suit in order to explore or simply survive more than a minute on a very hostile environment. Now, regarding the resources that we will have to manage properly in order to survive not only on the surface of one of these 4 moons and later planets of Star Citizen, but also while we are traveling around the vast universe of Star Citizen, what we usually see in games of that type are food and water, and in general the need to keep our characters well fed and hydrated in order to survive. Obviously, since Star Citizen is a space game, we will also have to worry about oxygen. And in reality, with the Alpha 3.0 update, we are going to get the very first steps of the oxygen and stamina management systems. We will have a specific amount of oxygen that will be depleting over time on our suits, and we will have to be very careful not to run out of oxygen because we will simply die. Traveling with our spaceship or staying in our vessels or a space station will obviously keep our oxygen levels full. But if we are exploring a derelict site, if we are exploring a derelict station, or if we are simply traveling on the surface of one of the moons and planets later in Star Citizen, our oxygen will go down, and we will have to either be very careful and not go very far from our spaceship, or try to find another source of oxygen and replenish the oxygen in our suit. In this, the various outposts that will be scattered on the surface of the 4 moons of Star Citizen, the 4 moons that will come to the persistent universe with this new update, will help. It hasn't been clarified if all the outposts will be able to replenish your oxygen, if we will be able to replenish our oxygen in all of the outposts, or if they have to meet specific requirements in order to have oxygen available for us. If we think about it, it is quite clear that abandoned outposts on the surface of the 4 moons will probably not have oxygen to give us, and we will need to find specific outposts, specific buildings that are functional and can still provide us with oxygen. Like I said, this has not been clarified yet, and we will have to wait until the Alpha 3.0 is released in order to know what is going on. But the distinction of the different outposts in various categories and the existence of an emergency type of outpost that will help crash pilots to survive and wait for someone else to come and pick them up make this sound a lot more plausible. Natural depletion of our oxygen is not going to be our only enemy. In case of a combat scenario, in case of an injury or a wound, our suits might be punctured, and this could cause an oxygen leak. Something that will be a grave danger for our survival and will probably get us killed faster. So we will always need to be careful of our surroundings when we are on a hostile environment. Now, the stamina system not managing properly your stamina at first is not going to be fatal, but could be very important in a combat scenario. Later though, as the worlds of Star Citizen expand and we will start seeing NPC occupying the various points of interest, but also predators and creatures in general added to the game, then the proper management of stamina is going to be very important for our survival. An indirect relationship between the stamina and oxygen system has to do with breathing. By sprinting, by fighting, and in general by performing a physically tense activity, we consume stamina and we start breathing irregularly. By breathing irregularly, we are increasing our heart rates, our characters will increase their heart rates, and this will have an impact on oxygen consumption. We will start consuming a lot more oxygen and we will deplete our oxygen pool a lot faster. So we can see that all these systems, although seem to be irrelevant one to each other, they do connect with each other and they do help create a one-of-a-kind experience, a very realistic survival gameplay experience. In the future, we are also going to see the introduction of food and water in game, the need to keep our characters well fed and hydrated in order to keep them alive, in order to survive. We don't really have many info about it, and there are many debates about the proper implementation of food and water in game. So this is something that we will have to wait and see. We will have to get a lot more info from the developers before we can discuss about it, we can talk about it properly. A nice example regarding food from the various discussions around this topic talks about having a steady supply of food in our ships, in our vessels, like with oxygen, and while we are in our ships, our characters will be well fed and hydrated. When we leave our ships and start exploring a hostile environment, a planet or a moon, then we will probably have a countdown of when we need to eat again or drink water again. Everything regarding food and water right now in Star Citizen are theories, and we don't really have an idea what the developers are thinking about this mechanic. I honestly hope that this little feature is going to be implemented properly to Star Citizen and will make the whole survival gameplay experience a lot more interesting and fun. A nice example of survival gameplay, in general what to expect in the future, how the developers are envisioning that kind of gameplay in Star Citizen, we can find in an article on the official site that is called Discovered, the Best Mistake. And it's talking about the discovery of the Hades system and more specifically about the exploration of Hades 2. The corrosive toxic atmosphere of that planet can eat away items, can destroy the suits of our characters and cause oxygen leaks, something that can be very dangerous for us in the future when we will be exploring such environments. It is also apparent that sometime later we will have to wear specialized suits that will help us survive environments with such specific and dangerous conditions. Overall, this is everything we know about survival gameplay in Star Citizen right now. We will start getting the very first elements of that kind of gameplay in the verse with the Alpha 3.0 update, and from there the developers can continue adding more elements of survival gameplay and of course expanding this very interesting aspect of Star Citizen. I personally think that these elements of survival gameplay can only enrich the experience that Star Citizen only can offer, and provide us with a lot of more challenging and fun situations. I would love to hear your thoughts about the survival gameplay in general, but also more specifically about the oxygen and stamina systems that we are getting with the next update, and how do you think food and water should be implemented in Star Citizen in order to provide an even better experience, or if they should be implemented at all. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am Squid of Love, and I will see you around the verse. Bye bye.